interior mall during the hours, the cleaning at night, the exterior of the mall, and then periodical cleaning. If you can imagine a room this size, there were probably 6 different finishes on the floors because they had unlimited money. So they had marbles and tiles and the most beautiful, ornate, but everything had to be cleaned differently. And we had to try to communicate that to people who didn't speak English and didn't know about cleaning solutions and didn't understand any of this. And we had to do it quick. Okay, so that was some of what happened. This is our learner. This is an example of our learner. I mentioned to you that they were highly, highly motivated. That made our job doable. They wanted to do a good job. They wanted to stay. They did not want to have any problems. They took pride in their work. And that was really, really what helped us tremendously was their motivation. This was our team. On top of all this other stuff, I had a virtual team. I had individuals who lived in California and Pennsylvania who were doing all of the graphics, all of the actual picture design. I had a translator here in Michigan and a desktop publisher. I had a project manager and myself that were in Dubai and here. I actually moved to Dubai October the 1st and was there on and off. I was there 8 times at 5 months. October the 1st, I was there for 7 weeks straight. So that was kind of an interesting thing. What we realized with all of these different cultures is we could not focus on language. We had to focus on pictures. Pictures, colors, symbols. And I'm going to show you that in just a second.
Excuse me, why did you hire a translator?
Because you were here right in the very beginning, but one of the things EMAR wanted was to eventually have all of their workers know one common language, which was English. And they asked us to make sure that our material, we can turn the lights up just a little bit. They wanted us to make sure that our materials had English so they could begin to have people become familiar. So what we did through analysis was we found out that the most common language, especially with the supervisors, was Hindi. And what I have learned since, I don't know if anybody is from the foreign languages here who knows this, but I've learned that the most upcoming languages right now are Hindi and Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah, I did not know that. I just read an article about that 2 weeks ago. I thought for sure it was Spanish, but no.
They've got the biggest population.
But it's Hindi and Chinese. And so what we did was we had the translator. We used very simple, concrete phrases, words, to begin to teach them English. We knew we weren't going to be able to train them how to do it using language, but the ultimate goal was to have them know English. So we have every directive is in Hindi and English, and that's why we have a translator. So that eventually the supervisors could begin to see the words, recognize words with pictures and color and directive, and begin to learn the English language. And that was through EMAR. But I do want to just, I don't want to keep flipping back and forth, but I want you to see, in the beginning, this is where we had to go. And we had a sample budget. We had all of these wonderful things we were going to do. We talked about our learner and our solution. We assembled our team. This was the most important thing, though. When we got into Dubai, very quickly, we were told before we left, we were told, hello, we were told the workforce will be there, the mall will be finished, and the products, the cleaning products will be there. Okay? Everything will be ready. So in Detroit, for the whole month of September, we were designing and developing instruction to teach the workers as best we could. And when we got to Dubai, we landed October 1, and we were ready to start teaching, right? We were going to start training our workforce. I could say this. I'm sorry, you're going to have to listen to me for a minute, but I want you to see our project manager.
October 1st, 2008, we hopped on a plane and we relocated to Dubai.
And the two of us moved there.
I
I don't know if you hear this?
Instruction that we had already designed and developed. And continuing to design and develop further procedures based on work with the cleaning company and the environmental management and the workers. So we thought, naively, that we were going to have 400 workers ready, and that we literally were going to land, take a day of rest, and the next day begin facility.
Oh, it froze.
Yes, that's right. The pilots. Yes, and what we found,
To our surprise, we found that the mall was not anywhere near the completion of the construction. In fact, they had to postpone the opening of the mall. That's how far behind they were.
yes.
So it was difficult to even be able to facilitate or run the pilots in certain areas because of the construction.
Right, because the restrooms weren't there or the common areas weren't finished.
Right.
We also found out, once we got there, that the procedures that they had originally told us they wanted us to design, in many cases, were not the correct procedures. So basically, I mean, we can give example after example of what we found differently, but the big picture of this is the definition of the problem changed. And as we know, design is all about constraints, but the definition of the problem completely
The
shifted.
mall wasn't finished. The workers, they had visa issues. The workers were not there. The procedures that they had said they wanted health and safety, they decided they didn't want it to teach them health and safety. All of the things that we had designed in the month of September were out the window and we were starting from scratch. That's basically the gist of this. Needless to say, it was a very intense month of October. So we reevaluated everything, and we had to start again. This is, here I'm going to drop down. I'd like to go back to this so I can show you what our product was. What we ended up coming up with, and I have it here, take a peek at it and pass it around. If you notice, there were also many cultural constraints. We could not use full bodies because in the Muslim tradition you don't do that. In the Muslim faith that is offensive. So we used hands. We have, you see, very simple graphics of arrows. We took actual pictures of the actual cleaning equipment, shipped the pictures to our graphic artists. They drew them so that the transfer issue was much less. So the worker could see the picture on this, and then they could see the product, and it was almost identical. One was a picture, one was the product, but it was almost identical. What we started doing was, the second day we realized there was nobody there. We asked for and received meetings every single morning with the mall construction crew, the project leads of that, the cleaning company, the chemical company, myself, Val, my project manager, and we were making decisions on the fly, what we had to do. An example, the chemical company who was bringing all the product in said, we can give you this mop. We said, great. We took a picture of it. They had a sample. We took a picture of it. We shipped it over. We started designing instruction on how to use it. The next morning we met, and what did they say? We can't get it shipped in. It's going to be held up in customs. We can't get the mop. Scrap that. Start again. So we needed this constant, ongoing communication daily, and we lived in the mall. Our offices were in the mall. We had workers in the mall that I kept using as subject matter experts. I would show them pictures. Do you understand this? What can we do? And they were, of course, so respectful. They wanted to agree with everything, and I had to get past that and tell them, no, don't agree with me. Tell me what you really think. And that was really interesting. But we went through, and this is all the instruction. Now, to give you an idea, there were 13 different instructions. And in those 13 instructions, many of them had 4 different things, 4 different instructions within one. I'll give you an example right now. One of the things they told us was it took 1 hour and 45 minutes to clean a washroom in the mall. When we got there, we discovered 24 washrooms that weren't even on the floor plans. So that you can imagine how many washrooms there were in this mall. We only discovered it by driving around in our golf cart. Okay. We knew with the amount of time the mall was closed, everything had to be cleaned. We knew, and the number of people that we had, we could not allow a worker to clean a mall bathroom for 104